guys, my name is Edwin Giraldo. I'm a graphic designer from Chicago, and welcome to tutorial number 5. So today we're going to be talking about navigation, and I'm going to show you guys how to set up your navigation. Now if you look at the last tutorial, tutorial number 4, we did a very basic structure. So everything that we do today, you should be able to copy and paste into our last tutorial, and your navigation bar should fit nice and snug where it's supposed to. Today we're also going to be talking about how to add Google Fonts into your web design. Now this is very simple, and it is done. Let's open here Firefox. I've already searched for it. So you go to Google Fonts, you sort through whatever font you like. I found this Glass Antiqua. I thought it was kind of cool. So you click here on this little link, you browse down a little bit, and it's going to give you the link that you need to put into your website. So let's go ahead and copy that, and let's get started with our website. So let's open, in my case, Dreamweaver CC. You, of course, can use any text editor that you like. So first things first, let's title our website, and we're going to call it tutorial number 5. And after that, we are going to paste that link that we just copied from Google, and we're going to put that in there. Perfect. Okay. Now the second thing, we'll go back to the Google Fonts, but for now, let's do this, and now let's call in our styles. Style types, CSS. Close our styles, and let's open up some space. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing that we need to do, and this you will find as well in the last video that we did, is our navigation. Okay, now I call them the same. That way, it's going to be easier for everybody to find them. To find where is it that you actually have to copy and paste from. Okay, so our width, the same as before, is going to be 960 pixels. Our height is going to be 45 pixels. We're going to float this to the left as it was before, and we're going to give it a 0 padding. Okay, great. Let's move along. Now here we're actually going to start getting into the navigation. So the first one is we're going to call it top nav. Okay. There we go. Using my laptop this time is way different. Okay, so the width, it's actually going to be, it's 960, right? That's the width. The height will be 35 pixels. Our padding, let's just zero it out for now. This is going to have to change though. Okay, now remember that I taught you guys, right? The padding for, the reason there's 4 different paddings is that it goes clockwise, right? So the first one, which is this one, refers to the top. Then this one to the right, this one to the bottom, and this one to the left. Okay, let's go shorthand. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to float this left. Okay, and then we're going to give it a Z index. Now, Z index is actually sort of like in Photoshop where you have layers. Well, you can add those layers the same way in Dreamweaver, but we're not going to actually get into that right now. All right, let's stop right there and let's go into our body. Let's just stop there for a second. Let's go into our body and see what we need to type there. So the first thing that we're going to do, let's save this. Whoa. Oh, we usually save a lot faster, right? Okay, bear with me here. Okay, and we're going to call it index, and we're going to save. Okay, great. We're in business. All right, so first we're going to call in our div for our navigation. There it is. And now we're going to put a little note here, end of navigation. Okay. Let's go over here. Whoa. There it is. Now the second div that we had was our top nav. So let's put that in there. And let's do a little note. So end of top navigation. And let's see. Here's where you need to stop here from copy and paste. Okay? So everything that's going to go between top nav and the div, that is what you will have to copy and paste into the other tutorial that we did in order for this to work in the last, from the last navigation that we did, or the last website that we did in our last tutorial. Okay, but for everybody that is not following or that didn't do tutorial number 4, at least here you'll learn how to get your navigation set up. Okay, so we're going to use unordered list and list items in order for us to do this. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to type UL, which is unordered list, and then we're going to type LI, and we're going to close it. Okay, so now we have our first list. Now here we're going to type href. Okay, we're just going to, let's say this is going to link to our main page, which would be HTML, index HTML. We're going to give it a class of top, which we haven't created yet, but we'll get there. And then we're going to type in whatever we want it to say. We close our link with \A. Okay, so now we have, that is our very first one. Now let's go down. Let's type the second one. href, this one, let's just leave it open. Class, top, and let's say this one is about us. Okay, we close our link and we close our list. Oh, before that, have you seen those really cool little lines that go in between? Okay, so let's put that in there. It's done. There it is. It's a little line, and it's kind of cool. It just divides the links. Okay, so in order to speed up a little bit, let's just copy that, go down here, paste it. Now let's do our next one. li href, leave that open, class top, close that. Let's call this one our mission. Okay, close li. Let's copy and paste that same little line. That's going to divide our text. Let's make one more here. Href. As always, guys, I strongly suggest that you get into the habit of typing this out as much as you can. That's going to give you the practice that you need to do this a lot quicker. Whoa. Oops. Look at that. Got an extra bracket there. Okay. Let's close that. Close that line. Type in the little line. And the last one is going to be contact us. Okay. So href. Leave it open. So that hashtag that you guys see there, that is just like a placeholder, but the computer or the code, it takes it as that something's going to be there. So you can actually see the link in use, even though it's not linking to anywhere. Just kind of sitting there. Okay, so let's save. And okay, we're good. So this is actually all that we're going to need in order to do our navigation. This is all that we need, okay? But now we need to style it properly in order for it to work properly, right? Okay, so let's keep going. Let's go back into our styles, and we can keep going here. All right, so top nav. Now we're going to style our LIs, okay? These right here, these right there, okay? So in order to do that, we don't use a hashtag, we don't use a dot, nothing like that. We just type LI, okay? And the system will recognize that That is what we're trying to target. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is that we need to completely zero these out. Okay, now in order for us to do that, because normally, sorry, okay, so normally what happens is that we have these LIs and UIs, they have like little bullet points and that sort of thing, right? So we don't want that to show up in our text. So in order for us to zero it out, we're going to go text decoration, none. Then we're going to go list, style, type, none. Okay? And now there we're telling the system that we don't want none of that fancy schmancy stuff. We just want the text. We're going to float this left. We're going to zero out the margins, and we're going to zero out the padding. Okay. Now let's move on with our UL, unordered list. Same as before, with no dots, no hashtags, none of that. We just type UL, and the system will understand. So list style type, none. Margin, 0 pixels. Padding, 0 pixels. Overflow, hidden. Now this is important just in case if your letters are too big or for some reason there's a problem with the font or anything like that and it goes beyond the space that you have set out for your link, then it's not going to mess up your entire design. It's just going to, the letters are actually going to be just cut off. Now the width that we're going to give it is the same width as before, which is 960 pixels, okay? Which is the length of our last navigation. Okay, now we are going to target our links, and our links are they're defined by the letter A, like a link. Okay, so in order to do that, we're going to give it a top. Okay, now A refers just to the link. Okay, but most likely you're going to have a lot of different links on your web page, so you want to differentiate these from the other ones. So this navigation, we're giving it an actual name, which is called top. Okay, if we just wanted to style the links by themselves, we would go A, we would do this, right? But then now we're styling all our links, and that's what we don't want. So in order for us to just make different ones, we go A dot top. Okay, now we're targeting a specific types of links, our specific types of links. Okay, so first thing, display in block. Okay, that's going to keep them in a row. We're going to give it a height of 35 pixels. Font family, oops, there we go, font family. Now for the font family, we're going to go back to our to the Google fonts, and if you scroll down a little bit more, here's the font family. Okay, so you can actually grab this whole thing and just copy it, go back to our website, and right here where it says font family, we paste it. Boom, and now it's active. Okay, now through Google Fonts, obviously you see how simple that was, and now you have custom made fonts on your website. Okay, so let's move along. Font size, we're going to give it 18 pixels. We're going to text align these so that they look really nice. We're going to center those, and now we're going to give it padding. Same as before, we're going to use shorthand. So we're going to give it 20 pixels in between them. Okay, so top, 0 pixels, right, 20 pixels, bottom, 0 pixels, and then left, 20 pixels. All right? Okay. Now, all right, moving along. Okay, so now we're actually, like I was saying before, here we're going to target all our links, okay, with just the A command, which refers to all our links. Okay. Now, for us to do that, it's the same as before, with text decoration, none, okay, and border style. There it is, border style, none. Okay, now what that does is that every single link that you have on your website is not going to have any text decoration, which is that little blue line underneath. It's not going to have that. It's not going to have a border around it, like for images or anything like that. So this just zeroes everything out. I actually never use the other ones, so I can actually recommend that, you know, use always zero them out. Okay, so the first one is a top, and then it's our link, right? Sorry, 2 dots, link. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna give it a color of, this is like a nice little gray. There it is, gray. Okay. Now a top hover. So the first one is just how the link is going to look when it's just sitting there by itself, right? Now the hover is obviously how is it going to look when people stand over it. So we're going to give it a black color, and we are going to say that it's important, okay? Now the reason that I called it as important is to override anything that the browser wants to do. Sometimes when it's active or the link has already been visited, it changes color. So in order to avoid that, we're telling it that it always has to hover. It's super important that it hovers. Okay, so the next one is called visited. Okay. And this is once your user has visited the link, what color do you want to display? Right? Well, I particularly don't want them to keep track, so I make it the same color as the link when it's standing by itself. And the last one is active. Now, most people don't use this. I don't use it that often either. But basically what it does is that when people click on it, it'll display a color for a fraction of a second. You don't have to use it, but I might as well teach you what it's good for. Okay? All right. Now we have finished styling our navigation. Okay, so now let's take a look and see what we did. There it is. There is our navigation. Now let's check it in Firefox. Sure, I'll save it. Okay, you see now you have the hover. You got those little lines in between, and it's live text. Okay, which is super important because if you use images, then your website gets kind of heavy, yada, 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 all that stuff, right? Okay, let's see how this looks here. All right. Let me see. Let me just double check something up here. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right, so in the design that we were doing from last tutorial, right? These items on this side, flush to the left, wouldn't look so good. So what I want to do is try, or what we're going to do, is that we are going to set up this home, about us, and all that stuff so that it be flushed to the right, okay? Which will look a lot better with the design that we had coming up, or that we had before. Now, in order for us to do that, we are going to play with the top nav padding, okay? So the first thing we're going to do, I think this is too, it seems like they're too close to the top here. So what we're going to do is that we're going to give it just a bit of padding on the top nav. We're going to give it a padding of 10. Now, okay, top padding of 10. Oh, this should have been 45, okay? That was the size that we had before. In our last tutorial, the bar was 45. But because we gave it a padding to the top of 10, we need to subtract from our height. So that's why it's 35. Okay, and you'll see what I mean in a second here with another example. Now, in order for us to move all this text, right, to the right, we're going to give it a lot of padding on this end, which is 435. Now from those 435 pixels, it means that we need to subtract 435 from 960. So what we do here is that we change this number to 525. Okay, so 525 plus 435 is going to give us 960. All right, remember you guys, I always told you, you got to keep track of that math. And there it is. So it moves to the right, and now it's flush over there to the left. See that? So now it's no longer on this side, it's over here, still functioning, still looking good. Okay, awesome. All right. Well, guys, I think that's it. And I'm also getting a call, so I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. See ya.